Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We're continuing to read from Sri Caitanya Caritamrita Adi-Lila, Chapter 5. Chapter 5, you're hearing the glories of Lord Nityananda, his exalted position. And now we are in text 42. He is none other than Balaramji. So we are going to hear from translation and purpose by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada. Tanha ye ramera rupa mahasankarshana chik chakti ashraya tinho karanera karana. There in the spiritual sky, this personal feature of Balaram, called Mahasankarshan, is the shelter of the spiritual energy. He's the primary cause, the cause of all causes. So Krishna expands as Balaramji. Balaramji is expanding as Mahasankarshan. And all this is happening in the spiritual sky, not here in the material world. And all this spiritual energy, Mahasankarshan also has all this spiritual energy, and he is called cause of all causes. So he's maintaining, by his energy, he's maintaining the spiritual world. Then he's expanding as Mahavishnu and maintaining the material world. So we can see that's why he's being called cause of all causes. But we say, oh, but Krishna is doing that. But he's non-different. It's just Krishna's expansions. No? We are just getting more and more detailed. We are getting more detailed information about the spiritual world, about the variety in the spiritual world. Chik Chakti Vilas Eka Shuddha Sattva Nam Shuddha Sattva Maya Yata Vaikuntha Dham. One variety of the pastimes of the spiritual energy is described as pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva. It comprises all the abodes of Vaikuntha. So in the material world, what is controlling is the material energy, which is goodness, passion, and ignorance. This is how the material world is being controlled. That's why we have that. It's a picture that there are these three women, and then they are the ropes, and everyone is dancing like a puppet to them. So this material world is controlled by these three modes of nature. That's the material energy, right? She has these three modes of nature. And the spiritual world is Vishuddha Sattva, pure goodness. Pure goodness. There is no material goodness, no passion, no ignorance. That is what is in the Vaikuntha. All the activities there means anything that anyone does there is under the guidance or under the influence of the Vishuddha Sattva. So here in the material world, we can see there is a lot of passion, a lot of ignorance. We also have some goodness. We have that. Not we don't, but passion and ignorance is much more. And that's the reason there is so much anxiety, so much fear. We keep, our dealings with people are like with passion and ignorance, and then comes the reactions of it. So that's all our activities are based on. But what's happening in the spiritual world? All the activities are being conducted on the level of Vishuddha Sattva, pure goodness. Means loving relationships. There is no goodness, no passion, no ignorance, no material goodness there. Everything is based on love. And so that's the reason the Vaikuntha atmosphere, it is so pleasing, it's so blissful, it's full of enjoyment because everyone's heart is full of already realized all the love, all the action dealings with each other is based on love. That's what it is. And that's why there is no anxiety there, there's no fear there. And there is no birth and death because it's the eternal world, eternal, absolute platform. Sad Vidhaishwarya Tanha Sakala Chinmaya Sankarshanera Vibhuti Sabha Janiha Nischaya. The six attributes are all spiritual. know for certain that they are all manifestations of the opulence of Sankarshan. So the 6 kinds of opulences, all knowledge, beauty, fame, renunciation, strength, all these, they are all spiritual. They are there in the Supreme Lord. He has these qualities. So Sankarshan has these qualities. Jiva nama tatash thakya eka shakti haya mahasankarshan sabha jivera ashraya. There is one marginal potency known as the Jiva. Mahasankarshan is the shelter of all Jivas. So we are expansions, right? We are part and parcel of Krishna. So we are part and parcel. We are coming from Mahasankarshan. Mahasankarshan. Yanha haite vishvotpati yanhate pralaya se purushera sankarshana samashraya. Sankarshan is the original shelter of the Purush, from whom this world is created and in whom it is dissolved. So, who is this Purusha that they are speaking about? Original shelter of the Purush, from whom this world is created and whom it is dissolved. It is Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu. It's not us. We don't create the world and dissolve the world. This is Mahavishnu. So Mahavishnu is coming from Sankarshan. Sarvashraya Sarvadbhuta Aishwarya Apar Ananta Kahite Nare Mahima Yanhar. He, Sankarshan, is the shelter of everything. He is wonderful in every respect and his opulences are infinite. Even Ananta cannot describe his glory. So we can see Sankarshan, by his internal energy, he's maintaining the spiritual worlds, external energy, maintaining the material worlds. So his glories are unlimited. Turiya Vishuddha Sattva Sankarshana Nama. Tinho Yanra Amsha Se Nityananda Rama. That Sankarshan, who is transcendental pure goodness, is a partial expansion of Nityananda Balaram. So who is Sankarshan? He is partial expansion of Balaramji or Nityananda. Balaram and Nityananda is the same person. So partial expansion. So how glorious is Lord Nityananda? That Sankarshan is the one who's maintaining material and spiritual worlds. And he's just a partial expansion of Balaramji. Again, we have to understand God is only one, not many. He just expands. He expands into many. We may not be able to understand it because we are not able to expand ourselves. But he is one. There is no two gods. Ashtama shlokera kaila sangshepe vivarna navama shlokera arthashuna diyamana. I have briefly explained the 8th verse. Now please listen with attention as I explain the 9th verse. Maya bharata janda sanghashaya yangaha shete sakshat karanam bodhi madhye yasye kamashah Shri Puman Adi-Devas tam Shri Nityananda Ramam prapadye. I offer my full obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda Ram, whose partial representation, called Karano Dakshai Vishnu, lying on the Karana ocean, is the original Purush, the master of the illusory energy and the shelter of all the universes. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he is saying he's offering Dandvat Pranam to Nityananda, Lord Nityananda. And he's saying, who is this Lord Nityananda? From him is coming this Karana Dakshai Vishnu, who's lying on the Karana ocean and from whose pores millions and millions of universes are coming, and by whose glance this material nature is being activated. Master of the illusory energy. He is the one who glances. Karana Dakshai Vishnu glances over the material energy. Krishna personally doesn't glance over the material energy. Karana Dakshai Vishnu glances. Vaikuntha Bahire Ye Jyotirmaya Dham Tahar Bahire Karanar Nava Nam. Outside the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal Brahman effulgence, and beyond that effulgence is the Karana ocean or causal ocean. So this is a bit long. Maybe we'll just begin the purport a bit. So the explanation is giving the impersonal glowing effulgence known as impersonal Brahman is the outer space of the Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky. Now, we see pictures here, what's outside the Earth planet, we'll see a dark space, and then we'll see other planets there, right? That's what the picture we are usually shown of the material sky, that the space is very dark because this material world is dark. That's the reason. So now, so in the spiritual world also, there are these planets, many planets. There are many planets there. And they're also floating in space. But the space there is very bright, that space. It's glowing effulgence. And it's on this, and this glowing effulgence is called the Brahmajyoti, or is called the impersonal Brahman. What does it mean saying impersonal Brahman? Impersonal Brahman means the feature of Brahman, which is not a person. It is light. That is impersonal Brahman, because Brahman is realized as Brahmatmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaneti, Shabdayate, right? The absolute truth is realized in three features: as this light, then as Paramatma, and as the Supreme Lord himself. That's how the absolute truth is realized. So this light is there everywhere, and all the Vaikuntha planets are floating on the light. Now, what happens? So this light is there. Then at one point, there is this great Karana ocean, causal ocean. And this ocean is like the border between the spiritual and material worlds. It's at the border. The material nature is a byproduct of this causal ocean. So from this point, beyond this point, now the material world is going to start. Karana Dakshai Vishnu, who lies on, so but the causal ocean is spiritual.
So that means
causal ocean is not material.
Okay. So that also means that one side is the darkness, because the material world is darkness.
That's right.
And then there is the light in the spiritual world, right?
Right. Yeah. So you can imagine, for example, you think that everything is light, okay? Everything is light. And just in one tiny portion of this light, there is a dark cloud put there. And that is the material world.
And then there is the ocean at the edge of both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the light, the dark portion is like, for example, this big, right? This big is the dark portion. So when it finishes, at the end of this dark portion is the causal ocean. And then on the other side of the causal ocean is the bright light. So if we go to see, everything is Brahman, because even the material world is situated on the Brahman. There is nothing that is not situated on the Brahman effulgence. Nothing. It is just because we want to forget God. So we are given the facility that this dark Mahatattva is put there for us. Like how we see, easy to understand, country, Taiwan country, citizens are free to roam about, many citizens, but there is one facility called a jail, prison house, for people who need to correct their behavior. And they are put inside there. So the jail, the prison house, is also inside the country of Taiwan. Not that it's outside the country, but the rules are different in that portion of the country. People can't go out as they wish. You know, there's certain rules there. Same. Material world is like the jail. Does that make it more clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So
what does this mean, that the material nature is a byproduct of this causal ocean?
So this Mahatattva is put there by the Karana Dakshai Vishnu. You know, at Karana Dakshai Vishnu, he's lying down on the Karana ocean, right? He's lying down on the causal ocean.
Yeah.
He's lying down on the causal ocean. And then in one part of this Brahman portion, he puts this Mahatattva there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why it is the byproduct of
Yeah.
this. Okay, this is Karna.
Yeah. So in one portion, he lies there, and by his glances, I was thinking we'll finish, but let's just read this and it will become a bit clearer. Karana Dakshai Vishnu, who lies on the causal ocean, creates the universes merely by glancing upon material nature. So that's why she's called Krishna's separated energy, his external energy. Because she's here in this part. She's not in the spiritual world, right? She's here in this material nature, this in the dark portion. And just by looking at her, Karana Dakshai Vishnu is creating so many universes. Therefore, Krishna personally has nothing to do with the material creation. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that the Lord glances over material nature, and thus she produces the many material universes. So this is how, by the glance of Mahavishnu, all these universes are put into place, like we were reading in Bhagavatam, no? That he glances, then the universes are made, all the living entities are put in there, the material elements are put in there, that way. Neither Krishna in Golok nor Narayan in Vaikuntha comes directly in contact with the material creation. They are completely aloof from the material energy. So they do not personally associate with the material energy. That's why she's called separated energy. That's why she's called the separated energy. Like Narayan is not associated. Narayan is in Vaikuntha. Krishna is in Goloka. They are nothing to do with the material energy. Now only the expansion of Karana Dakshai Vishnu, he's glancing over the material energy. Yeah.
This is only Karna Dakshai Vishnu.
Yeah, Karana.
It's not Krishna, though he's part,
Yeah.
but still that it is his job to glance, and his glancing is creating the material nature.
Yes. His glance is not creating. Material nature always exists.
Then what is his glance doing?
The universes, by his agitation. So the material energy is there. She's there.
Okay.
She's there. Eternal. She's eternal. There is no point on time that she's never there.
Okay.
She always exists. So at one time, he looks at her, and then the agitation starts, and then again, the whole cosmic creation happens again. Okay. So that's why the cosmic creation is sometimes manifest and sometimes not manifest, right? Because of his breathing. Sometimes it's inside his body, sometimes it's outside. But so the manifestation is sometimes manifest and sometimes not manifest. But the material nature, she's eternal. The elements of material nature, earth, water, air, fire, always exist. Always exist.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Krishna personally, what is the person Krishna, what is he doing? He's in Golok Vrindavan. He's enjoying his pastimes there. Narayan, what he's doing? He's enjoying in Vaikuntha. All this creation and maintenance of this material cosmic nature, cosmic universes, it's happening by Karana Dakshai Vishnu. And who's he? He is a portion of Krishna.
So his job is only the universes, right? To create the universes in the material energy by glancing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
Okay.
Creates it and highlights it. And also maintains it. When he expands as Shiro Dakshai Vishnu, he expands it. These three Purushas, Karana Dakshai Vishnu, Garbho Dakshai Vishnu, Shiro Dakshai Vishnu, they're the same. He's the same Vishnu. He just expands. So it is his job, as you said, to create this cosmic, all the universes, maintain them, and then again to annihilate them. And then it keeps happening over and over again, over and over again.
And what does this mean? Is that Narayan and Krishna are not in direct contact. So that means that the Karma Daksha is their expansion. They're not in the direct contact, like, right? That's what they're trying to say here.
They're not looking at the material energy.
Okay.
They're not looking at her.
Okay.
This Karana Daksha Vishnu is looking at her.
Okay.
Although he is expansion of Krishna himself, although everything is coming from Krishna, we are just getting a very detailed information, you know, how it is happening, which expansion of Krishna is doing what. It's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, perfect. This makes sense.
Thank you so much for listening and enjoying it. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.